Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Um, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. We were just talking, sorry, those at home, about the how the technology has advanced to keep in line with what Allah said, right, about the heart being the system that is used to, well, receive revelations, to be heard, and all this is all from the heart, not in the brains to decide. Yes, I said just now that scientifically, very recently, about the fact that the heart has also this called the nervous system, right? They have 40,000 neurons that functions exactly the same as the brain. Yes, subhanallah. So this is something we do need to be grateful to Allah, yeah, for well, Islam is always believe of the heart, yeah, not the brains that allow us to behave, yeah. And this is how new information from the scientific information that there is an intrinsic cardiac nervous system, yeah. Um, so as I said just now, yeah, in Surah number 26, verse number 88 to 89, Allah informed us about the heart. Yeah, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. The day, which is the day of resurrection, whereon neither wealth or sons will avail, except him who brings to Allah a clean heart. Clean means clean from all the shirk, yeah, all the hypocrisy, so that we are able to face Allah. Yeah. So there's of course an important hadith from Bukhari where Prophet Muhammad said, listen carefully, there is a piece of flesh in the man's body. If it is healthy, then the whole thing is healthy. If it's corrupted, the whole thing is corrupted. The whole thing is corrupted. Beware, that piece of flesh is the heart, not the brains. Yeah. Um, so this is important that we look at ourselves, look at our heart, even when Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah verse number 7, Akram, talking about the disbelievers, and later about the Al-Baqarah, verse number 7. Khatamallahu ala qulubihim wa ala sam'im. So in the sense that Allah was mentioning about that, Allah has sealed the hearts from receiving any of these guidance and revelations. And this is quite important, yeah. Because when somebody, for example, is not praying, yeah, you expect Allah to be guided. You completely not, because I remembered one of my clients. I think she's Persian, right? Complaining to me about, oh, see, I pray to God. He never. He not she stuff really. He said he never answered any of my prayers. So the first thing I asked, did you pray? No. How on earth do you expect Allah to answer our prayers when we don't do our part, right? Because Allah clearly states in Surah number 29, verse number 45, Inna salata tanha anil fashai wal munkar. The prayer will prevent immoralities and disobedience to Allah. Missing the prayer itself is a munkar. Agree? That is an act of disobedience. Yeah. So the fact that Allah has sealed the heart, subhanAllah, it means that nothing else can enter the heart in order to guide you. Yeah. So let's look about why the heart. Yeah. First of all, as we discussed just now, the heart is the center of intellect, not the brain. Yeah. In Surah number Hajj, Surah 22, verse number 46, also, أَفَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَتَكُونَ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا أَوْ آذَانٌ يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارُ وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي صُدُورِ. Have they not traveled through the land, and have they hearts? That means the qulub, wherewith to understand, and the ears where it is to hear. Verily, listen to this. Verily, it is not the eyes that grow blind, but it is the heart, yeah, which are in the breast that grow blind. It's quite interesting, right? It's not about the eyes, but it's the heart, yeah, that cannot see or cannot understand the significance of Allah's message or Allah's signs. Well, if we will talk about David Attenborough, right, the famous BBC nature kind of narrators, right? Of all the people, he should be the first one to note about Allah's creations, right? He sees many things. I don't think he has any. I don't think so, right? Because of that, there is this that I hate when these people use up Mother Nature, you know, and sound like that. And they refuse to correlate with a creator of all this. Yeah, surely when in examples in the Quran, when Allah use examples Ibrahim alayhi salam, when Ibrahim alayhi salam was looking for where is God, then again Allah brings back the nature, right? When he looks at what first, the stars first, right? Oh, stars, this must be God. And then the stars disappeared in the morning, and then okay, look again for another god, and then look, found the moon bigger than the stars, yeah, and then after that it disappeared again. Then the sun even bigger, right? And the sun sets, as you know, right? So all these things, it relates to nature, because there's this thing of fitrah that we all of us must have. When you look at something, that surely there's not it's not just about photo opportunity, right? It's not about selfies and looking at the taking pictures in order to fulfill your Instagram or your subscribers, the thirst of knowledge about your lifestyle, right? And this is what is happening today. Do you agree? People actually died, right? Taking all these photos, standing at the edge of the cliff or whatever. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. So this is how our world is now at, that people are so busy taking um, videos and photos more than appreciate what Allah has created for us in front of you. Yeah. Um, so even in Surah number 47, verse number 24, Allah says, "Afala yatadabbaruna al-Qur'ana am ala qulubin aqfaluha?" Do they not think deeply in the Quran, or their hearts are locked up? Not about the brains, but the heart. When our hearts, no matter how much we see things, it will never be affected if it's locked up or it has these corruptions. Omar, what kind of videos would you see that would you, this is Allah, this is what is it? Is it shahada? It is nature? When you see videos, what are the things that actually make you want to, well, motivate you to practice Islam? Have you been practicing all your life? Okay, alhamdulillah. So what are the things that will motivate you even more?
It's usually more human elements.
Okay. In terms of?
You see, for example, if you look at recently what happened in like Spain,
Yeah.
and you see how they have nothing,
Yeah.
but they still hold onto their deen.
Yeah.
They go through so much struggle
Yeah.
compared to what we go through, but they have such good iman and still hold onto their deen and keep on hard and stuff like that.
Yeah, it will affect you. Yeah. So the verses in the Quran say that if Allah locked up our hearts, all this won't affect you at all. All right. So this is important, that there must be elements, because all of us are different. I would, for me personally, I would, well, Kaaba, all the old people are struggling to walk around to the tawaf. That affects me a lot. Or people who are handicapped and they're still striving to do the wudu, right? And that affects me also. Everybody's different. There must be a way of you and me to look at things perhaps in a better way that makes us, you and me, more closer to Allah. Akram, what about you? What are the things that you see on your internet or social media that would increase? Yeah. And plus images. No images doesn't go. If not, I'm being mean. I know images of trees or the sea. Yeah, just ask you, if no images doesn't affect you. Yeah. What about you?
Sometimes seeing people just new to Islam and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
They're taking a shahada,
correct.
like they don't have any Muslim friends or anything like that,
Yeah.
or any masjids near
Yeah.
them, and they're still
Yeah.
on the way to take the shahada, and they're trying their best.
Yeah, yeah, alhamdulillah. All of us must be, alhamdulillah, we're so blessed, right? That we're in London, honestly. Of all the cities in Europe, this is the one of the best places.
And the whole day they make sentence a day, and then when you ask them, they say,
Yeah, yeah. I think precisely, and also in Palestine, right? When when you ask people, ask them, they always say alhamdulillah, you know, and they're so grateful to Allah. And this is, I think, that Assalamualaikum. How are you? How no country? So yeah, so but I'm sure you know many people may not be affected by coronary recitations. Perhaps people in the Middle East, yeah. Honestly, before I came to UK, right? I of course before my knowledge of the Arabic and all this, we always thought in myself that the Arabic language is so pure, it cannot be related to all these fahish immoralities, right?
because everyone thinks just Arabic is something.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yes, correct. Correct. So, so I wonder. Yeah, yeah.
Afghan guy watching it, and then the other person comes and asks Afghan guy, like, why are they fighting? He said, I don't know, they're reading the Quran. You know, the started punching each other.
Yeah.
Just because they're speaking in Arabic, they thought,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Afghan guy thought he was
Yeah, yeah.
the Quran.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So my story was when I went to your lovely country, of course, Egypt, staying in Red Sea, not Sharm el Sheikh, of course, but some other more halal resorts, right? First time I saw these, I was in Rome, right? Quite bored. So the first time I saw these videos, just see Arabic videos, music videos, and all this in my room and all this, because just Arabic language, right? Because you thought it's so pure. Subhanallah, all the, you know, X-rated things you do Arabic. I was so shocked, and it really, you know, no. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So you say video, then scan all these things, women come out, you know, almost naked, and your NTV video is worse than the Western one. And subhanallah, and these are the things that really like, you know, but this is where your heart is very important. That you straight away you need to clean your heart, yeah, against all these fahish and all these immoralities, yeah. So this is the first thing about the heart. It is the center of intellect. It will determine usually whether you want to obey or not to obey. It is the heart. Agree? It's never the brains. So the thing is that if our heart is filled with filth and is covered by all the sins, surely we wouldn't be affected by many things, right? Even Quranic recitations, you turn on to another channel and also never Quranic recitation. Because sometimes when you're feeder, right, there's always mixed, especially when you watch something, everything about it come out, right? I saw watch about cats, all cats come out, right? Sorry, it's quite annoying, right? So this is the thing, right? That first of all, what the heart is the center of the intellect. Second one, the heart is actually the center of taqwa. Prophet Muhammad said, but taqwa, where is it? It's here, right? Point at the heart, not here. Taqwa. It's quite interesting, you know, because you always think that you want to think to be a fearful of Allah. You think it's here, but especially it's here. So if your heart is not clean again, you will never have this sense of taqwa. It's not even here, right? It's not even in your thoughts. It's all here. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I discussed with you, right? Because you always think that people with long beard, thoughts amazing, right? So in one this video, right, there is this one old man with a long beard, right? So he was standing. So there's a mobile phone there. He was trying to put his hand there and put the mobile phone in his pocket. And this is a person with long beard and thoughts. And so what Prophet Muhammad said was exactly true. It's here. It's not in anything else. Yeah, because there is this misconception that the longer your beard, the more you wear thobes and all this. Especially in some sects, you have this right. Then you are more pious than others. And this is completely false. Yeah. So in Surah number Hujurat 49 verse number 3, yeah, Allah said, Ulaika alladhina amtahana Allahu qulubahum littaqwa. Though they are the ones whose heart Allah tested for piety. Yeah. Um, so if your heart is not clean with sins, you would fear Allah less. Agree? If it is your heart is clean, inshallah, then you will be more fearful of Allah. The third thing is I said about the heart is the place where the wahi descends, your revelations. Yeah, it is in Surah number 26, verse number 193 to 194. وَإِنَّهُ لَتَنْزِيلُ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ نَزَلَ بِهِ الرُّوحُ الْأَمِينُ عَلَى قَلْبِكَ لِتَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُنذِرِينَ. And truly this Quran is a revelation from the Lord of the Alamin, which the trustworthy Ruh has brought down upon your heart, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that you may be one of the warners. Yeah. So, because the heart, not the brains, is able to distinguish right and wrong. Agreed? Again, very ironical. You always think, but you think it's right or it's wrong. It's not this. It's here that we're able to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. Yeah. Another is Surah Al-Kahf, Surah Qaf, sorry, Surah number 50, verse number 37. Allah says, Inna fi dhalika la dhikra liman kana lahu qalbun aw alqas sam'a wa huwa shahid. Verily, therein is indeed a reminder for him who has a heart or gives ear while he is heedful. Yeah, to know what is right and what is wrong. Now, rewards and retribution depend on the acts of the qalb. Yep. So in Surah number 2, verse number 225, Allah said, وَلَكِنْ يُؤَخِذْكُمْ بِهَا كَسَبَتْ قُلُوبُكُمْ. But He will call you, that means Allah call you to account for that which your hearts have earned. So your heart is the one who tells you and me to come to the mosque, to seek lessons, to go to the mosque, wake up for tahajjud. This is the heart. Agree? Right? And again, this is something, again, emphasize again, if the heart is not clean, you will never have the ability to even wake up for Fajr. Yeah? Why are people difficult to wake up for Fajr? I think that's the main thing. For me personally, I would just simply, so I'm not being rude. My leg is killing me. Sorry? No, that's okay. I always say, right, if Allah we do not wake up for even tahajjud or fajr, we are simply not invited. As simple as that. All of us depends on Allah's invitation to even come to the mosque. That's why when we come to the mosque, the first thing that we do is Tahiyatul Masjid, to thank Allah, yeah, for inviting us to the mosque. Yeah. Now, ignorance and negligence are also acts of the heart. Yeah, in Surah number 2, again, verse number 7, Allah said, Khatamallahu ala qulub. Allah has set the seal on the hearts. Yeah. In Surah number 2, verse 88, Allah said, وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. And they say that the hearts are wrapped. Yeah. Surah 83, verse number 14, Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. Nay, but on their hearts is the ran. What is ran? Sorry? Stains, yeah. Covering of sins, yeah, which they used to earn. Yeah. So the heart is also where the ignorance and negligence come from. Questions? So let's go on to the topic, right? About the 5 factors that will corrupt our hearts. This is a very important topic because not many people. Do you know that too much sleep will cause your heart to be corrupted? Nobody knows, but this is from one of the greatest shuyukhs. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, okay, now the heart has no true pleasure or bliss except in the intimate knowledge of Allah. his love, contentment through his remembrance, delight in his closeness, and eagerness to meet him. This pleasure of the heart is akin to an early, listen to this, the pleasure of the heart is akin to an early paradise. Similarly, there is no bliss or happiness in the eternal hereafter except in Allah's company, which is the promise of Jannah. So there are two gardens, and none enters the second eternal one without entering the first one. What does it mean? That means, and even there is, what is Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah say, right? There is a paradise in this world, and the one who does not enter it will not enter paradise in the hereafter. What does it mean? That means in this world, if you are in a state of, that means you think only of Allah. That is that's like a paradise. Do you agree? Because nothing else matters. Because all of us are chasing the dunya, right? And, of course, some, alhamdulillah, are balanced, but some are at the expense of the hereafter. So when your heart only thinks of Allah, that is a paradise for me, even, right? You agree? Because then nothing else matters. Even though you have all this. Now, always remember, doesn't mean that when your heart has Allah, you don't have any problems. Sometimes you have more problems, but you know Allah is always there. Yeah, and this is important. That's why, what did Abu Bakr, what Prophet Muhammad said to Abu Bakr when they're in this cave? La tahzan. In Allah ma'ana. That is very important, right? Because that literally means don't be sad. Allah is with us. Yes. Yes. Allah is the third, right? And so it is important that I have to emphasize, because a lot of people think that when Allah is with you, there's no problems, you live a nice life, can go shopping, can go holidays. That's not how it is. In fact, you and I know the more Allah loves us, the more problems we have. But you know that Allah is always with us. For example, when you say Allahu Musta'an. What does Musta'an means? His help need to be sought. Only Allah. Just like when you say Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. You just need to understand that, well, Allah is enough for us. I don't need to go to this. Of course, we do need to resolve things. But main thing is Allah. So when Allah is sufficient for us, He's the best disposal of all our affairs. So who said this? In the Quran, who said that? First. No, not in the Quran. He didn't say it in the Quran. It's the Hadith. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Who said this in the Quran? No, you say Ibrahim said, but it's in Hadith, not in the Quran, right? Surah number 3, verse number 173, right? When the people or the enemies of Allah were trying to scare the Muslims, that saying that, oh, be careful of the enemies, they're in great numbers, but it only increased the faith of the Muslims, and they say Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Yeah, and also what do you call it? When Ibrahim alayhi salam say this in another hadith, right? What happened? Yes, and he was in the fire, and immediately after that, Allah gave His help. The fire became cool, right? And perhaps when we have problems, when we say this, it should be enough, inshallah, to get Allah's help. And even Ibrahim alayhi salam, he refused to receive the help of Jibril alayhi salam. He only wants help from Allah, and it's quite big, yeah, because when somebody offers you help and you say no, only from Allah. Same thing as when Ayub alayhi salam, right, lost three things, right? Lost the whole family, died, whole wealth disappeared, almost the whole health gone, except the tongue and the heart. Subhanallah. He even said to the wife, right? Because the wife always nag, the woman, right? Nag, right? At the end of the day, he asked the wife. What did he ask the wife? How long have we been happy in Allah's blessings? Right? 70 years. Right? And then how long had we been tested by Allah? 7 years. So 70 years Allah gave us everything. And only 7 years Allah tested us. You want me to go to Allah for help? And what did he say? I swear by Allah, if I have enough strength to hold a stick, I'll beat you up. Right? And this is, something in which perhaps all of us wants Allah's assistance too quickly. Why do I say this? Because when Allah tests us and we are patient, Allah knows exactly when to relieve us from our difficulties, right? And because of that, perhaps when we ask, as in when we expect Allah to help us quickly, perhaps it may remove, first of all, our less sins are removed, because the more we are patient, the more sins are removed, right? And perhaps due to our patience, may lead us to Jannah, right? And this is important, that, as I said just now, that when Allah is with us, it's not about having a beautiful life in this world. It's about having the ability to be patient and to understand that whatever it is, Allah knows that we are suffering, right? And this is important, that we look at ourselves, and this from the heart, right? The heart knows who is Allah. If your heart has no knowledge of Allah, then you are panicking, and you instead of going to Allah, you go to the, what do you call it, fortune tellers. You go to things that are able to haram things, the graves, or ask from the people. Yeah? You go to your shuyukh, the Sufis, right? And the imams. You go for the what do you call it, Shia. So you go to different ways. But when your heart is only filled with Allah, that's it. Nothing else is important. And that is what it means by the paradise in this world. Because you are only focused on Allah. Whether Allah is pleased with you or displeased with you, that's it. Right? When you know that Allah is displeased with you, immediately you need to remove whatever things Allah displeased with us. Agreed? Perhaps, right? You may have a girlfriend. Perhaps your job may not be fully halal, right? Right? At the end of the day, whether it's halal or not, in general, when you seek knowledge, right? You cannot pretend that, it's okay, right? It will, it's only once, right? And this is how, when you do all these sins, the saying goes about the believer will look at the sin, is as if mountain is going to fall on them, whereas a sinner look at the sin as if it's a fly, right? It's going to go away quickly. And always look at who is the one who have disobeyed, not the small amount of disobedience, right? Now, so let's talk about the 5 things, right? The first one, the topic today is about the 5 factors that will corrupt our hearts. The first one is the company of your friends, we call companions. Now, you and I know, right? If you're always going out with QPR fans, do you agree? Right? If you always go out with them, no, I'm talking in general, right? Most of them are not, either not Muslims or not praying and all this, right? You tend to have this inclination to join them. It's a human being, right? You want to be part of the team, part of a bond, and then because of that, subhanAllah, it might corrupt your heart. Yeah. And this is important, that we choose our friends properly. Agreed. What is Allah saying in Surah Al-Kahf about choosing friends? Read for me, Akram. Surah number 18, verse number 28. Yes, but it's after the it's 18, verse number 28. Yep. Okay, what is the meaning?
Be so patient by being with those who call upon the Lord in the morning and the evening, seeking His countenance, and let not your eyes pass beyond them, desiring adornments of the worldly life. Do not obey one whose heart we have heedless of our members, and who follows his desire, and whose affair is ever making
Yeah. So how was this verse revealed, Abdul Rahman? How was this verse revealed? How was this verse revealed? Anybody? How was the verse revealed? How was this verse revealed? How? Yeah.
Wasn't Abraham all revealed together?
No, I think there are separate verses that reveal it at different times. Yeah. We'll talk about next week, inshallah. All right. How about this is a very important verse. I think another important verse in Surah number 43, verse number 67. Abdul Rahman, take it for me. 43, 67. Yes.
Those things that they will be enemies to each other except for the righteous.
Well, I hate to use your translation. It's not exactly correct. Except there's a taqwa, isn't it true?
Yeah.
Taqwa and righteous is a bit different, you know. Do you agree? So we do need to get a proper translator. Translations always best is always the most enhanced translations, right? It's a bit, it's almost there, but it's a bit less. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Taqwa is righteous different. Righteous means just doing good deeds, right? Taqwa is more conscious, right? That you are afraid to do bad deeds, especially, right? Fear of Allah. It's a bit different. Sorry? Yes, pious or God conscious the best. That you're conscious all the time. Is halal, haram, and all. This is called taqwa, right? So how was this verse revealed? Remember, you have a quiz this Saturday. No, this one. Yes. How was it revealed? How was it revealed? No. Remember, we discussed a few times, Akram, this verse. You remember. You remember. Now, on the day of judgment, inshallah, when one of us somehow or other we meet Allah, right? And then let's say you are promised Jannah. At least of Ibn Kathir, right? And then we will remember our friends in this life. Ya Allah, you will mention the names. Akram, Omar, Abdurrahman, all these. Mention your names. Ya Allah, these are the people who prayed with me, who encouraged me in Islam and all this, right? And you say to Allah, Ya Allah, whatever things you have promised me, give it to them. You're making dua to Allah in front of Allah, right? And then you were crying. You're not happy because your friends are still not secured yet. What did Allah say? Yes, if you have seen what I've given them or preserved for them, you will laugh more, you cry less. And this is when you select not just Muslims, but people with taqwa. It's a lot of difference, right? Muslims and people with taqwa, a lot of difference. Yeah. Whereas on the other hand, if this person was promised hellfire, and he will again mention your names, Aidan, Yusuf, Adam. These are the people, Ya Allah. These are the people who asked me to do this. Ya Allah, whatever things that you have given me, give it to them too. And this is dua for people who are a sinner. And this is amazing. So it's all about choosing the correct the friends. Abid, would you, when you mix with friends, Afghans, for example, when you go back home to your family, right? You know, right, who's on the right path in general, right? You know, right, how they behave, whether they are eating. What do you guys eat? Somalis, what do you eat? Cut, right? Right. And that's dessert, right? But you know, right, in general. And the worst part is that because they are your families and all, it doesn't matter their families or not. Of course, you need to do da'wah a little bit. But if you know that your families and worst thing, they're leading you far away from Allah's path, then you don't need to take a step back. Instead of, so you need to hang out with people who are more in the right path, inshallah, so that you remember what is the hadith that when you step into a perfume shop, you end up in hadith, right? Yes. So when you go in a perfume shop, you also smell nice. But when you go in a place with steel and all this smoke, you also smell like smoke. Just go downstairs, right? Canteen. Go there for about half an hour, your whole thing will smell of food. Whole thing smell of food. 100%. Yeah. So this is important that we choose the correct friends, right? In Surah Furqan, I just read you the meanings, verse number 27 and 29 in the meaning. And that day the wrongdoer will bite his hand in regret, saying, woe to me, would that I had chosen the path of Allah's messenger, would that I had not taken so and so for a friend. Alas, he distracted me from the reminder after he had come to me. Right? I repeat again, right? Would that I had not taken so and so for a friend. Alas, he distracted me from the reminder after it had come to me. Right? You and I must remember, right? No matter how amazing you love your family, your mother, your father, and all this, they will not be there to defend you on the day of judgment. If they are instigating to do something wrong and you follow them, you are there in the day of judgment to fend for yourself. And this is important that you realize the where you stand in the eyes of Allah. That is why the saying about this, you need to enter the paradise in this world. If you cannot enter the paradise in this world, don't hope to get the paradise in the hereafter, because in this world, if your heart is filled with other than Allah, you get distracted. When your heart is with Allah only, that's it. It is saying by Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, right? Which just makes sense, right? Because if, as I said, you are really in paradise in this world, if your heart is only filled with Allah. You may be suffering, you may have not much money, but you do honest work. Rather than have a nice big car, all of interest and all this. I mean, what kind of paradise you have? It's just a fake paradise that you enjoy for a few years, 10 years, 20 years, but in the hereafter, you have to answer to Allah on the day of judgment. Especially when people working in banks and all this make a lot of money, for example. But most of the money comes from interest. Right? And the barzakh, Aidan, what is the punishment? Interest? Yes. Yes. It is, and this is authentic hadith regarding what Prophet Muhammad saw in his dream, right? He had a dream, Isra Miraj and all this. No, Isra Miraj, in another hadith, when he went to all these places to see all the punishments in the barzakh. Yep. Sorry, say again, begin.
If the person he doesn't like the paradise or he the paradise life, he can't feel the paradise.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That means he has to be
Yes. 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 Yeah. 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 And always remember, right? The path to Jannah is easy or difficult? Difficult. Which surah in the Quran? Which surah in the Quran that Allah says is difficult to enter Jannah? Am hasibatum? No. Am hasa an tadkhul jannata wa lam ya'tikum mathalul ladzina khalu min qablikum masasmul wajar. Yeah. Which surah is this? Abu Bakar was nama? 214. 214. Right? 214. Right? It was talking about how about entering Jannah. Can you read for me, Aidan, the meaning? 2 Al-Baqarah. That is in Jannah, inshallah. Another many more surah. 214. do you think you enter paradise easily as those before you? Something like that, right? Is it Muslim Khan?
Severe poverty and ignorance. So shaken that even the messenger and those who believed among them said, when will the help of Allah? Yes, certainly, the help of Allah is near.
Near. It's not a help of Allah is here now. It's near. So they still have to have better lot of patience. Yeah. So don't be discouraged if you are still suffering from this and that, because subhanallah, for Muslims, right, everything is a win-win situation. When we are tested by Allah, it's always look at the positive way. I know some people that they just completely go the other way. They test about, they think that why the Allah is not loving them and all this, and they give up. But Shaitan is always telling them, right? What would Shaitan whisper in the ear? Shaitan will always say, "Look at this. You're doing tahajjud. You're praying, right? You're going to the mosque, and yet you're still like this, right? Might as well you don't pray at all." And this is something in which all of us people are facing all this waswas or whispers in the ear that we should need inshallah to overcome. Yeah. Um, so the rule of thumb, and then this is the first factor that will affect your heart, or that will corrupt your heart, is usually your friends, right? And in general, to put it broadly, also sometimes some family members are quite toxic, right? That they somehow are that they're not on the right path. They tell you to do this. They do many things that perhaps that are way away, far away from Allah's path. Yeah. So Aiden, right? He took Shahada. Sorry? Last July, Alhamdulillah. And now he can read the Quran, Alhamdulillah. Right? 3 months, 4 months? Your lesson? How long was the lesson? 5 months. Yeah. Right? And your families are not supporting you at all. Right? Is there a verse in the Quran? Again, we discussed many times. You must remember this verse that tells you to love Allah than anything else. Yeah, which surah is this? Okay, turn to surah number 9, verse number, almost 630, verse number 24. And read for me, please, in English.
Say, if your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wives, your children, both that you have joined, come as you appear at the time when the dwelling that is shaped alive. I'll dear to you and Allah the Messenger, and try him hard in fighting the disciples. Then wait until Allah brings about his decision, and Allah guides not the people of a person.
Right.
وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا
تطعهما.
تطعهما وصحبهما بالكلمة المعروفة.
Yeah. Yeah. So it answers many of your questions, right? Should I obey Allah? I should obey my parents. Again, I think this is in surah number 29, in verse number 6 or 7. Look at it. Parents obey, but if they ask you to disobey, then you need to Allah to disobey your parents. 29, I think verse number either 6 or 7. No? 8, okay. Read for me.
And we have enjoined the man to be good and truthful to his parents.
Yep.
But if they strive to make you join with me and worship anything as a partner of which you have no knowledge, then obey them not. Unto me is your return, and I shall tell you what you used.
Yeah. Do you face difficulties in when you now that they're telling you to no, you cannot do this, right? What do you do? Are you sad? Yeah. Yeah. Are you, in a sense, that are you sad that you have to disobey your parents? No, you personally. Everybody's different. Okay, yeah. Because I know, I won't mention names, of course. I know two of our brothers. They always say, my parents always pull me down of Islam. I need to. So they got married and they leave out the house, and they can practice Islam much faster. An idea, right? Once you did independent life, they can practice Islam better. Yeah. So this is it, the first one, right? Um, because I think many people are affected by this, by your own friends, and you do need to understand your purpose of life is only to worship Allah. أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّمَا إِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Yeah, that do you think that we created you in this life for without any purpose, for mere play, and that you shall not be brought back to us, to Allah? Yeah. Now the next one, number 2, is wishful thinking. What is wishful thinking? Or endless wishes? It is, yeah. Or you wish to do this, but you never do it. Right? I want to go to Hajj. I want to do this. I want to be better Muslim. I want to be. Some people actually say, and especially this with the reverse, right? I want to go to Medina, Mecca. I want to be a scholar and all this. Quite a lot of people doing that, but it's not as easy as it is, right? And it is important that we put things in reality. The dunya is also important because you need to support your family. You need to lead this life, right? Because a lot of people went to Mecca, Medina in the university, but they dropped. A lot of people dropped out. So of them because somehow or other relatives sank in, and it's very difficult. Only those who are sincere, for me personally, will be able to pass with flying colors. Those who are not, they face a lot of difficulties, yeah, to pass through this noble attempt to, inshallah, to help people with the deen. Yeah. So these are the people who well, perhaps they wish to do good deeds, but they lack the capability to do so. So these are the things that. But of course, should know the hadith, right? If you have the intention to do a good deed, but you do not do the good deed, you get the reward of the deed. Yeah. So this, but if you have endless wishes, right, and we do not do it, it may corrupt the heart. Yeah. Um, the next one, attachment to other than Allah. If I love, or if you love your BMW more than you love Allah, which is many people do, right? Then you need to know that you will be facing a dilemma when it comes to, I want to obey Allah, I want to obey my dunya. Yeah. A lot of people, for example, have, because let's say you work in a corporate world, you need to go out with clients. Clients want to go to pubs. What would you do? Or clients want to celebrate Christmas. Right? Secret Santa, right? Yeah. So would you do? Because you may lose your money, because you're entertaining your clients. And this is something that you do need to ask yourself, right? Who is more important, Allah or the dunya that you live? Now remember, we discussed many times that we made a commitment to Allah. What is our commitment? What is a covenant with Allah? Quiz question. Our Rabb. Which surah again? We do not know this, right? Quiz number.
139.
We had a lot of row in the quiz. Okay. Right. Abdul Rahman. Which surah? One? No. 172, right?
So what did I say last week?
I don't know how you say. Yeah, 172, right? When Allah swiped the back of Adam alayhi salam, and all of us aligned ourselves, right? And we say to Allah asks us, "Am I not your Rabb?" And then we say, "Bala shahidina." We bear witness, your Rabb. And Allah warned us, "Don't send a day of judgment. You're not aware of this." So technically, your job, your money, everything, right? Alhamdulillah, may Allah make it easy for you to enter university, to pay your fees without any interest. And this is something that is commendable. He wanted to enter university. He got a place in Hamla Queen Mary's, but he didn't. As a revert, How many months? How many months? 1 year plus, right? But he thinks that he doesn't want to pay. He doesn't want to pay take a loans from the bank. So other than that, he take a gap year, work in order to get money. Subhanallah, right? How many Muslims actually think about that? Because very important to, yeah. So again, this is where you trust Allah completely, right? That Allah will going to provide, and it's very important. Every day we say now Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise and thanks go to Allah who's Rabbil Alameen. And yet people do many different things. You don't trust Allah at all. Right? Every day we before we leave the house we say Tawakkaltu ala Allah. Yes. We put our trust in Allah. Every day we say that, and yet our actions are very different. And it's very important, yeah, that if our hearts are attached to Allah, surely, no matter what happens in your life, you would always trust Allah will provide. Imagine I didn't have a job for 2 years after I graduate from law school. There are a lot of offers that are not halal, and then people will just take it because they're desperate for money. And this is important that you have to realize that if you say you trust Allah, it means you trust Allah. Yeah. Again, we put effort, of course. Yes, of course, correctly. Yes, yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Your brother is doing better than you.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
work is
Okay, so this is important. I have important question, right, Yusuf? If you know that you're so desperate, right? You need to feed, you need to pay the bills and all this, right? And a job came that is not halal. It's the only job that came. Will you take this job? Because there are some people, well, I wouldn't be, some so-called scholars, which I do not like, right? The big ones, right? Who say that it's okay, you can take this job first, and then make dua that Allah will give you better ones. Sorry? Sorry? Yeah. There's no such a necessity. Yeah, that's different, right? You can, huh? Yeah, it's in London. Yes. Would you take a job? Would take a job?
I'd have to be in that situation. So yeah,
Let's say you have a child to feed, and then your wife just got married.
I wouldn't want to.
You have to understand, right? The hadith regarding the person in disheveled and he was making dua to Allah. And then Prophet Muhammad was commenting, how can Allah answer his dua? Food is not halal, drink is not halal, clothing is not halal, income is not halal. And very important that we trust Allah. Trust Allah is very easy to say, oh, I advise you to trust Allah, right? But as you say, when it comes to that situation, it's very different. And this is where you have to understand because the topic, the number 3 point is attachment to other than Allah. If you attach yourself to Allah, that's it. Doesn't matter, right? Even Prophet Muhammad was telling the person with epilepsy, right? We discussed many times in this class, right? You want to be patient and still have epilepsy and the reward is Jannah, or you want me to make dua for you and you can be recovered, inshallah. Which one do you choose? Because at the end of the day, all of us, I think, he choose Jannah, he choose your epilepsy, but just make dua that I won't be naked, right? And this is something which a lot of us think of short-term benefits, right? Because your heart is not with Allah, with all these benefits. But when heart is with Allah, subhanallah, you will think of Allah first. Yeah, and this is important. If you, Omar, if you were in Bilal's position, where you are lying on the rock, I'm talking about Saudi Arabia. Temperature perhaps will be about 40, 50 degrees, and the rocks perhaps about 80, 90 degrees, surely. and a rock, another boulder is being put on you, what would you do? Very difficult, is it? Because a lot of, in the sense that a lot of us think, right? We always have this wishful thinking. I wish that I was in the time of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but not necessarily we become Muslims. We might be succumb to all these weaknesses, and turn around from, because one of the worst one of the worst sins is to run away from a battle. One of the worst sins to run away from the battle. That's one of the Sahaba. He was burying himself. He buried himself in the ground. He just used his arrow to shoot because he's afraid that he's going to run away. And this is how it is. Of course, we can just comment that, but again, this is something we do need to think about. So if your heart is attached to Allah, you will be among those who your heart will never be corrupted. But if your heart is attached to other than Allah, surely be corrupted.
Also on something about what the job. You asked him if he
Yes.
the job was halal.
Yes.
When the Prophet Muhammad he said
Awesome.
for Sa'd is uncle of Muhammad Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. أطلب مطعمك يستجاب الدعاء. If you eat from halal, your food is halal, Allah will respond to your prayer. Allah will respond to your dua. It means if you have the situation and you have to choose on something which is halal. For that reason, you can pay for Allah. Allah can respond to your dua.
Yes. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah. This. Sorry?
It's like you said that some scholars say that if you take the haram job and you make dua, then dua will be accepted.
Will not be accepted, yeah.
Precisely.
The main reason, you have to
Yeah.
eat from
Yeah.
halal.
And not only that, brother, in the job, how do you know we are not going to die in the middle of all these haram things, right? We do not know. So it is important to trust Allah completely. Yeah. Because we made a covenant with Allah. You are our Rabb. Then we cannot change our mind because this is covenant from Allah. Yeah. And I think a lot of us must look at ourselves. I think one of the best ways to one of the best ways to increase our risk from Allah? Istighfar. Istighfar. Right? I remembered I was making a comment. We're going to do Indonesian Mosque next week. How many years? Not really yet. How many years? And I made a suggestion or advice. Everybody of you must ask Allah for forgiveness. So perhaps we have done something. Remember the story of Musa alayhi salam? We discussed many times. The Musa alayhi salam, the one that there was no rain for many years, and then he was. Do you heard the story? Okay, so there was no rain for many years. Then Musa alayhi salam went to Allah. Allah said, among you, there's one person who is sinning. You must get him out of the place, then I will give rain. So he told the people, right? The people all were standing in front of him. Among you, there's one person who has committed sin, and because of him, Allah did not provide us rain. Can this person give one step in front, put your move forward, so we can see who you are? This person was thinking, if I were to step up, then I will be disgraced. If I don't step forward, then people will die. Then in that moment, he was so sincere in his asking Allah for forgiveness, and he was in tears. And then the clouds came, and then the rain came. And then Musa went to Allah, Ya Allah, you are so generous. Nobody stepped up. You still give us rain. And then Musa was saying, Allah was saying, right? Because of the repentance of one of you, in which because of him, that's why I give the rain. And then Musa was saying, Ya Allah, tell me who is this person? Then what did Allah say? I've hidden his sins for 40 years. No, I do not want to tell anybody. Now you want to tell, expect me to tell you, Musa alayhi salam. And this is important, right? I think the verse that is really accurate with this in Surah number 11, verse number 52. Ya Qawmi, wa Ya Qawmi from Hud alayhi salam, right? No. Another one. Yeah. وَيَا قَوْمِ يَسْتَغْفِرُكُمْ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. Yeah. Yes. يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءِ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا. Right. Yeah. So this is the word. What is the meaning? Do you find the meaning, Yusuf?
My people, ask forgiveness of your Lord, and then repent him. He will send you from his abundant and strength to add strength to your strength. So do not turn away as you move, but criminals misbehaviors and the wrongs of all.
Yeah. A lot of us, I think, including myself, you always blame others, no? What is happening to us? You never look at yourself, no? And ask yourself for forgiveness. Then Allah will provide provisions, inshallah, and resolve your stuff, give you strength which you never know that you have the strength. Yeah. So very important that we, inshallah, realize that sometimes it's our fault. Why we never get all these provisions and ask for forgiveness, inshallah. Yeah. Number 4, excessive eating. I think excessive eating, right? That is one of the causes of your heart being corrupted. Why? I think it's after effects of, yes, especially when I include myself, I have to admit, because sometimes, you eat late and all this because of work or whatever it is. Sometimes in summer, especially in summer, right, when Isha is about 11 o'clock, you are busy doing this, and then, you just happen to eat late. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's all about being sleepy, being, especially in Ramadan, right? People are consuming everything within 5 minutes. They expect to go to Fajr, Maghrib, Isha, and after 5 6 go to Tarawih. It's quite difficult. Yeah. Somehow that this thing increase all the sleepiness, stomach ache, and increase lust. I don't know. The increase lust in.
I think maybe it's you're not able to control your desires if you're just doing whatever you want all
Mm.
the time.
So lack of control.
So you're going to lose
Yeah.
self-control.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Are you fasting today? Are you fasting today? Are you fasting today? Alhamdulillah. So you need to fast. Right, Mondays and Thursdays at least, inshallah. Right.
Why Muhammad said
Fasting.
you have to eat some food in after prayers and you have to eat after
Maghrib, yeah.
because your stomach is
Shrink.
something called
Yeah.
many call that.
Yeah.
If you eat, this is eating one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this all this regime can't extend.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
food
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't eat.
Yeah. Precisely.
If you eat some from that,
Yeah. And then pray first. Yeah.
the regime will be
Yeah. 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 Alhamdulillah.
so you can.
Egyptians eat a lot.
Yes.
Are you Egyptian?
Yeah.
Oh, Allah Mubarak. Alhamdulillah.
You give me anything.
Sudan eat a lot. No? Somalian, of course. When I went to Somalian wedding, right? There's so much food. I couldn't sit on the floor, no? There's so much food, subhanallah, right? Alhamdulillah.
What's up with Somali, Sheikh?
That's Somali. So much food, alhamdulillah, because I was, Brother Adam, I was the one who did his nikah. And there's so much food on the ground, subhanallah. Okay, excessive sleep. Why excessive sleep is causing your heart to be affected? Yeah. Yeah, but no, they suggested, for example, it's not good to sleep even after Fajr. But that's quite difficult, right? Because we are living in countries in which in summer Fajr is about 2 o'clock. How can I not sleep after that, right? So I think it's subjected to. Right? I can't take it. I have to sleep after Fajr, right? Yeah. So the thing also not advised to sleep is after Maghrib. Yeah. Again, In summer, I find this is, I mean, may Allah forgive my sins, right? Sometimes in summer, Maghrib is what time, Isha is what time, right? You just want to rest for a while before you go to bed. Allah knows best, right?
after عصر
Now,
after المغرب شيخ. هذا after عصر.
sorry?
إذا after عصر you go to sleep.
Yes, after Asar. Yeah, because Asar is about 5:30, right? Maghrib is about 9. I need to sleep, especially after long. Not so. Let's say Ramadan, right? Ramadan 9:30 in summer. 5:30. How can I not sleep? You need to rest for the Tarawih prayer, for the Qiyam prayer. Yeah. Yeah. So the best time to sleep in general for us is after Isha. After Isha. Zuhur is the siesta, right? That is good. I mean, I find it's quite fulfilling to have. They call it a power nap, right? Power nap is very useful. No? For me, my power nap is in the underground. Right? 10 minutes. Yeah. That power nap is not 1 hour. Though. That's not power nap. It's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right. Now, when I was supposed to sleep after Isha, but again, it's not practical when in winter, right? For us living in the West, winter Isha is about 5:30. How can I stay at 6 o'clock until all the way until when, So again, I think we have to apply wisdom when talking about this, right? Because surely we want to do something else at night, right? 6 o'clock and all this. So too much sleep will lead to irritability, distractedness, and all this. Okay, any questions so far? Is it?
Yeah, Sheikh.
Yes.
Is there a hadith though? I heard people saying that you cannot sleep between Asr and Maghrib.
You cannot sleep between Asr and Maghrib.
Yeah.
Is it hadith?
Well, that's what I heard. We keep telling you you're not supposed to sleep between Asr and Maghrib.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure. I can find out for you, inshallah. But I think it's more towards macro more than disliked, more than haram, that you sleep at these hours. Yeah. Questions? Is it helpful? Yeah. Because remember, Ramadan is in less than 6 months. You and I, especially me, we need to purify our hearts, right? Before we come to a month of Ramadan in which we are supposed to make this tremendous change, inshallah. Because if your heart is still corrupted, I think it's such a waste. They cannot make this change in Ramadan because all is helping us. What's happening in Ramadan? Shaitan is locked up, hellfire is closed, paradise is open. It's the best time to make this change. That's why we talked about. I think the scholars were saying about in the month of Rajab is a month to sow the seeds, right? And then in month of Sha'ban, you irrigate it. Then Ramadan is to harvest. Not Ramadan sow the seeds. There's nothing to harvest. Right? We need to harvest a lot, inshallah, Ramadan, because as you know, as the time goes by, what do you call it? I'll be very honest, right? I think Adam agreed with me. As you get older, your worship quality get less and less because of the physical conditions that you face, right, Adam? Right?
Yes, 100%.
You cannot bow down properly. I always tell the people, right? My students are quite straight. Straighten your legs, because when you bow your legs, you must sit properly. That kind of sit. I can't even do it because it's too strenuous, right? And those who please for the brothers, right? And you do need to go to Hajj quickly. Save money, make dua, because as you get older, it's very difficult, right? Save your money. And I advise you. I think most of us here in front of me, I think you can afford to go on Umrah before Hajj. If you can do it, it's much better because gives you the idea. Because now you're more, alhamdulillah, you're more aware, right? Kaaba is this big, right? How many people are going to rush? There's a war zone in the, what do you call it? Hajar Aswad corner, right? And many things. So when you go to Umrah, you had a feeling. It's quite difficult to go to Hajj immediately and know what to do, right? So when you will make mistakes, 100% your first Umrah, then you learn from these mistakes, and especially patience, right? A lot of people think that patience is easy. It's not easy when you figure in Ramadan when we went, there were 6 million people in Ramadan. 6 million, right? It's all about space. space and space and more space. And the worst part, sometimes you got a space already, right? What did they do? Haji, they did ask to move because they need space for the people doing tawaf. Then you spend 2 or 3 hours in the hot sun, only to be moved to another place. No, in the around the Kaaba, when you wait for the iftar in Ramadan, you have to reserve your place, because if not, they will close the door. You cannot enter, because 6 million people. Right? So may Allah Subhanahu wa Taala invite all of us to perform Hajj. May Allah Subhanahu wa Taala allow all of us to be purified our hearts. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala allow all these factors not to be affecting our purity of our hearts. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala guides our family members and ourselves in the right path. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala grant all of us Jannatul Firdaus. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, Saturday is a 3 o'clock, inshallah, at the behind here. So, okay, look at the map, inshallah. Don't be late. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan.